Today's reading is Night Gaunt, an entry from the Monster Encyclopedia book series. Demons with a bizarre appearance who have their whole body covered in a black film, and one of the races of monsters belonging to the Abyss. They are poor at expressing emotions, and it's difficult to read their intentions from their emotions, or their expressions. Since they serve someone and basically act in accordance with their master's will, it's hard to tell what they themselves are thinking. But if a human strikes their fancy, they'll soar through the sky and carry him where he wants to go. Conversely, if they don't care for a human, apparently they'll snatch him up and carry him off into the sky, only to drop him right in the middle of a swarm of monsters in heat. So it seems they do indeed have emotions. They just don't tend to show them. Normally they lurk in dark places such as underground or in caves, but when night falls, they fly around the sky intent on swooping down on human men who strike their fancy and wrestling them. Their behavior after that is quite eccentric. Even after binding a man, they don't go straight into attempting copulation, like most monsters would. Instead, they only start caressing him intently. At a glance from the way it looks as they busily moving fingertips stroke a man's body, it even seems as though they are tickling the man, but the purpose of this behavior is to coat the man's body in the mucus created by their own body. Mucus is thoroughly and persistently plastered all over a man from his face and chest all the way down to his lower parts. And as it permeates his body, so does the pleasure induced by their caressing intensifies. A man whose expressions was filled with disgust and bewilderment at the beginning of this ordeal will end up grinning lewdly later on. Oh, how lewd. At this point, they finally seek to copulate with the man, and after even his mind has been violated by the mucus, he will not refuse it. In fact, sometimes the man will end up attempting to initiate intercourse on his own. How spooky. The pleasure induced by their body is painted over a man's mind along with the mucus, and once a man has known it, he won't be able to stop grinning lewdly at them and lusting insatiably for them. Once the mucus has completely permeated a man's body through intercourse, his nature will change so that he will become a fitting husband for the Night Gaunt. He obtains a grotesque, demon-like form, and along with that he can secrete and control mucus just as she does. Plus, he'll be able to dissolve the film covering their body by touching it. Additionally, their expressions actually change in a variety of ways, and their husband will be able to sense their emotions, although it is said that they still appear emotionless to those other than their husband and fellow members of the same race. After obtaining a husband, they become dependent on their husband's lust and will. They will mostly think and act in an obedient manner. Generally, they'll end up spending all of their time constantly copulating. Based on their appearance, it is easily possible to distinguish whether or not they have a husband. Married individuals have a grotesque creature, which is their husband groping them from behind, with countless tentacles curling all over them, and it even look like they're having sex in the rear entry position. Okay, writer. Moreover, the black film covering their body of such an individual is not their own, but their husband's mucus. The film pulses, vigorously squeezing and rubbing their breast and buttocks according to their husband's will, continually providing pleasure and ecstasy. Their husband is also freely able to return to his human form, but since their husband has gained total dominion over them by constantly joining with them and continually providing pleasure, it seems they experience anxiety when he changes into his human form and separates from them, and it's said that they will behave in a clingy manner towards their husband.